if you forgive others of their trespasses against you, like if somebody does something wrong to you, or if somebody is mean to you, or stuff like that, whatever it is, you forgive them, then God will also forgive you. Now, on the other hand, if you do not forgive others their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive you of your trespasses. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. So in order to, in a sense, you get back what you put out. In a sense, love your neighbor as you love yourself. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. And going even further than that, if you want to get that forgiveness from God or that mercy from God, you got to be merciful to others. You got to forgive others as well. Okay? And I know it will be hard sometimes. And it's normal for that to be hard sometimes, but we still got to put that pride aside. Put that pride aside and remember, we are ambassadors of Christ. We are sons and daughters of Christ, right? So we got to, whatever it is that we want to do, we have to push that aside and do things that glorify God. Even if it makes us feel like, man, I want to say sorry to that person, or no, I don't want to accept that person's apology, but you know what? All right, God, you know what? I love you, and I forgive this person. You know what? I forgive you. And sometimes it doesn't mean necessarily going to them and saying, I forgive you or stuff like that, but at least forgiving them in your heart. When you don't forgive people, you put yourself in a prison. You put yourself in a prison. You hold that grudge. You hold that grudge. And when you hold that grudge, when you hold that anger inside of you, that other person might not even know about it. But because you're holding on to that grudge in your heart, you will just be so bogged down and maybe depressed or anxious about these things. Okay. And that puts you in a prison. Like you just feel so sad or mad all the time. So that's why it's good, to release them who hurt us, release them, and also release yourself from that prison of just anger about thinking what they did. Forgive them as well, okay, guys? And when you do fast, do not look gloomy like the hypocrites, for they disfigure their faces that their fasting may be seen by others. Truly, I say to you, they have received their reward. But when you fast, anoint your head and wash your face, that your fasting may not be seen by others, but by your Father who is in secret. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you. Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy and where thieves break in and steal. Truly but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, it implies that people often have a choice between activities that lead to greater earthly reward in the present and those that store up greater future reward in heaven. Okay? So it implies that we have a choice between things that we do that lead to greater reward here on earth, greater reward here in the present on earth, or greater rewards in heaven for our future, eternal future. Elsewhere in the Gospels, the consequences of making the wrong choice are shown to be eternally disastrous, okay? The eye is the lamp of the body. So if your eye is healthy, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eye is bad, your whole body will be full of darkness. If then the light in you is darkness, how great is the darkness, guys? How great is the darkness, guys? So in Hebrew literature, the eye is often similar to the heart. So you could say, in other words, if the heart is not healthy, if your eye is not healthy, if your eye is bad, if your heart is bad, then your whole body will be full of darkness. This is why it's important. It's crazy. I read this in Jeremiah the other day. I forget exactly how it says it verbatim, but essentially it reads that the heart is the most wicked. The heart is just so wicked. Like all of the evil things we do come from our heart. So this is why, we we have to rely on God even more to renew our heart. We have to ask him to renew our heart. Repent, repent, repent. I'm going to say this every day. Every day we get on here, I'm going to remind you and also remind myself every day that, we're not perfect. We're not perfect. We sin. Even though we want to be perfect, we sin. And that's just how it is, unfortunately. But God is so gracious that we are able to repent. He's so merciful that we're able to repent. So we got to repent, 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 and renew that heart. Ask him to renew our heart. Reminder, it's a process, okay? So we gotta remember it's a process. And yeah, like Tilly said, we don't have to feed our hearts with evil things, okay, guys?